a land has no right to leave Islam. By the way, this is why they claim that Spain should return to be Islamic. Also, large parts of the Balkans, which once were under Islamic occupation, all the way north to the gates of Vienna, the capital of Austria, where they defeated in September 11 of 1683. This is why September 11 was chosen by Al-Qaeda.
Hey everyone. This episode with Dr. Mordechai Kedar was very insightful and interesting, so we decided not to cut anything out. Instead, we broke it into 5 shorter episodes to make it easier for you to watch and listen. You can find all of those videos in our channel, Conflict Voices. Please don't forget to subscribe.
Since Judaism is viewed as the former religion, Islam came to the world to replace it. They took the theory of replacement from Christianity. And now whoever sticks to Judaism actually should be punished, because Jews should live under the Islamic yoke as dhimmis with very reduced rights. They cannot ride a horse, only a donkey, in order to denigrate them. Jews can only walk in the sewage canal and not in the dry and clean sidewalk. And they should pay the jizya, the skull tax or head tax, and when they are humiliated, as stated in the Quran. So this is why Jews have no right to a state. They have no right to a government, army, police, or any other manifestation of independence and sovereignty. And all of a sudden, these Jews in Israel, they establish a state on an Islamic land named Palestine, as they call it. And Israel has no right to exist in their eyes. Even it was on a square centimeter on the seashore of Tel Aviv. Why? Because Palestine is an Islamic land, and any land has only one-way ticket to enter the house of Islam. A land has no right to leave Islam. By the way, this is why they claim that Spain should return to be Islamic. And the island of Sicily.
I wanted to ask you about it, because you can see in India as well, a lot of territories that were Islamic.
It should return to be Islamic, because once it was under Islamic rule.
But why don't we see those jihad and those incidents in Spain, for example?
Because the Spaniards are too powerful. And the Muslims are not suicidal. It will come.
But if I compare the Spanish army, for example, to the Israeli one, I'm not sure that the Spanish army is better.
No, but the Spanish army is part of NATO, and they are afraid of NATO, so far.
And that's the same reason that they're not dealing with India, for example, or with other Islam.
Indians also are infidels, and they are idol worshippers, according to Islam. But they are too powerful. And Israel is small. Israel is only 10 million people. So Israel is viewed as weak. That's why they now concentrate on Israel. But if Israel collapses because of their pressure, the pressure will go to Europe. After all, they will be encouraged that yes, they can. So look, not only Sicily and Spain, also large parts of the Balkans, which once were under Islamic occupation, all the way north to the gates of Vienna, the capital of Austria, where they defeated in September 11 of 1683. September 11. This is why September 11 was chosen by Al-Qaeda for the attacks in 2001. So Palestine as well should return to be Islamic. And the occupation is not the occupation of 1967. It is the occupation of 1948.
48, of course.
And you know, actually they show it. They don't even try to hide in their maps. Look at this. These are 2 scarves. This is a scarf of Hamas. And they show here the land. You can see here is the entire land from the river to the sea. And this is the north, this is the south. This is the map of the land of Israel. And with a book, which is the Quran, with a verse on it, which says, prepare against them, means against your enemies, prepare against them whatever you have from power and bound horses, in order to strike terror into the hearts of your enemies and the enemies of Allah. Okay, this is the verse, to strike terror.
I can see Jordan as well in this.
No,
this
Jordan
map?
is
Okay, I wasn't sure if I see it correctly.
the Palestine without the Golan. This is the whole land. So where is Israel? According to Hamas, Israel is no.
In the sea.
By the way, the PLO are no better, and this is the scarf of the PLO, and you can see the colors of the PLO flag, and this also, Palestine, from the river to the sea. No Tel Aviv, only Yafo.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is exactly the big difference between Hamas and the PLO?
I wanted to ask you actually this question.
So this green means this is the color of heaven. Because Hamas, if they die, they go to
It's
heaven.
more related to the Islam.
This is the national flag of the Palestinians, but the bottom line is the same, because they want to eradicate Israel altogether from the Islamic point of view, and they want to eradicate Israel altogether from the national point of view. So what exactly is the difference for us, Israelis? And unfortunately, there are people in the world who think that the PLO should replace the Hamas in Gaza or everywhere else, hoping that they will mercy us more than Hamas. The only question is who has more power. Hamas thought that they can do it, while the PLO is still waiting in order to fulfill this dream.
The extremeness level of both of those organizations is similar? Because Abu Mazen, for example, is saying, if I'm not wrong, that he doesn't want to use force or...
Now he doesn't want.
Of course.
Means he understands that he can deceive us. And there are, unfortunately, enough people here in Israel and elsewhere who believe him. That, look, the name of his organization is the Palestinian Liberation Organization. And this was established in 1959, when there was no occupation of 1967. So what exactly do they want to liberate? Of course, Tel Aviv and Netanya. Okay? So this is why, and they never changed their charter. They said that they will, but they didn't. They cheated Rabin already in 1993, and they claim that they are going to change the National Convention.
In the Oslo Accords? Oh,
after towards the signing, Rabin demanded that Arafat will change all the places in their charter, which mentioned that Israel has no right to exist. Mm-hmm. But there was no time to do this, to assemble the Palestinian National Assembly. So he wrote a letter that we will change it, which was still not fulfilled.
Do you see any organization in this area that is not extreme, that we can count on or speak with?
Look, the Palestinian discourse, whether it's the national one or the religious one, they don't accept Israel at all. At all, both. And you can see this on the maps, which they look at the education systems. Education, actually, how they convey their values to the next generation. If you check the textbooks in schools, they are more or less the same. So
it's the same?
The same. Mm-hmm. Also, the PA does not accept the existence of the state of Israel. Israel does not appear as a state on the maps of the Palestinian Authority in their textbooks. It means that they can act against Israel whenever they like.
If I'm not wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong, both of those organizations, and Hezbollah as well and others, they want, it's not just about Israel, they do want to kill all the Jews in general.
This is, I would say, behind the things. Right now, they have problems with Israel. Once they finish with Israel, they will go after the others. If Jews dare to live by themselves as independent, because they, as I mentioned, they have to live under the yoke of Islam, and only then, only under Islam, Jews can enjoy keeping their life and their property. Only under Islam.
You were speaking about Jewish, that living under the Islam, I wanted to ask you, first of all, that was it like this? Because obviously a lot of Jews were living under Islamic countries. Second of all, you were speaking about a lot of problems or a lot of humiliation and rules against the Jews. And from my knowledge, it was much easier or much safer for Jews to live in Islamic countries than in
Yes.
European and Christian countries.
First of all, Jews were persecuted in both. In
course.
Christian countries like Russia, Ukraine, Eastern Europe in general. Don't forget that in Britain, Jews were not allowed to come to Britain for hundreds of years in the Middle Ages. You know, so they were chased out, and and Jews suffered from massacres. You know, in many Christian countries, the Inquisition in Spain and in other countries, which people came from Spain. You know, in Brazil, there was an Inquisition against Marranos, means against Jews who made faces as if they are Christians, until the mid-19th century.
Okay.
Very few people know about this. But in Brazil, there was an Inquisition against, this is part of history. Don't forget the Holocaust, of course, and pogroms in many places, and blood libel in many places through history. While in the Arab and Islamic world, Jews were more tolerated, although there were also blood libel in Damascus in the 19th century. There was forced Islamization in Morocco in the 13th century. There was also in Mashhad in Iran in the 19th century. In Yemen, children were taken to be Islamized if they lost Jewish children, if they lost their parents by law. And everywhere, Jewish girls were raped, and Jews
Systematically? Just was the way that it works? Or worked?
Yeah, because usually Jews did not have any status to go to complain against rape cases. So this is why in many Jewish communities, girls were married out at the age of 6 or 7 before they are raped. Because once a girl is married, nobody will rape her. Yeah, because apparently she is not a virgin anymore. So this is what Jewish people suffered, and they couldn't complain because they usually didn't have whom to complain to, because they were under the rule of Islam. In Cairo, there was once an order to exterminate the Jews, but the night before it was carried out, the guy the commander who ordered it died. So they were saved.
When was it?
It was in the 17th century.
Okay.
So okay, no doubt that in the Islamic world, the life of Jews were better. But also we
You
have...
agree with this statement?
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
But it was because Jews knew their status and they behaved in the good way. Once they have a state and there are all kinds of aspirations of statehood and independence, this is when slaughters or massacres against Jews started already in 1920.
We hope you enjoyed this episode with Dr. Kedar. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel Conflict Voices and see the rest of the videos with Dr. Kedar.